Nick Foles. Nick Foles. My stomach hurts. I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's a toilet paper in this house. Where's the toilet paper? There's no toilet paper. Sorry, Josh. Poop.
Still the cowboy, Mr. McLean. You Americans are all alike. But this time, John Wayne doesn't walk into the sunset with Grace Kelly. Scary Cooper, asshole! Oh, Diva! Oh, shit! Oh, shit! That was crazy!
Happy trails, Hans.
Dallas still stinks.
Everybody, Lou King Ding back here. So, where will Nick Foles end up? What is going to happen to Nick Foles this offseason? Now, I've been watching a ton of videos, a ton of different people saying the Eagles should trade him for here, the Eagles should trade him here, the Eagles should do this, should do that. It's been very interesting, and I wanted to weigh in on this. But first, I want to give you my predictions for the AFC NFC Championship games this week. Now, last week, I had a horrible weekend. I stunk. I went 0-4. I got destroyed. The week before, I was 4-0, so I'm 4-4 in the playoffs. I hope to make it better this week and get these picks right. Now, the AFC Championship game, the Kansas City Chiefs host the New England Patriots, and I want to say this should be a good game. It should be a good game, but every AFC game so far has stunk. They've been horrible. I thought the Colts were going to go in and do some damage to the Chiefs, but I got to give a lot of credit for that to the Chiefs, especially the pass rush on the Chiefs. I thought was really good. And if they could pressure Brady, we know Brady. The way to get Brady is pressure. You got to get pressure on Brady. The Giants did it. The Eagles did it at the end of the Super Bowl, and that's how you beat him. Now, Brady and the Patriots have been to 8 consecutive AFC Championship games. 8 consecutive. That's ridiculous. It's really a great accomplishment. You got to give it to them. Now, the one thing is they are 0-3 on the road in the 3 road games that they played in the AFC Championship game. So, I think this is a good game. This is a good game, and I'm really torn on this game. And I've been back and forth all week. I love Patrick Mahomes. I love the weapons that the Kansas City Chiefs offense has. I don't think their defense and their secondary, I don't think it's all that great. But I do like their pass rush. And the Chiefs are different at home. Then you have Brady, Edelman, White. I mean, they got a ton of weapons. Tom Brady is Tom Brady. And you never know what you're going to get. You know Belichick is going to have matchups and do things that Mahomes has never seen before. Try to confuse him. I think this is going to be a good game. And I'm going to take the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs, and specifically the main reason is because they are at home. I think being at home will be a huge factor in this game, and I think the Chiefs will beat the New England Patriots, but I think it's a fascinating matchup. It can go anyway. It can go anyway. Then in the NFC, we have the Rams at the Saints. Another very interesting game. Now, Marcus Peters, Sean Payton, they've been kind of going at it. Marcus Peters didn't like that Sean Payton basically said that they picked on him the first game. Now, the Rams are going to have Aqib Talib back this game, so things may be a little different. I really think that the Saints, they came out slow against the Eagles. Part of it maybe was because of the bye, whatever. But I think the key to this game is how effective the Rams can run the ball. If they can run the ball the way they did last week against the Cowboys, They'll keep Drew Brees off the field. They'll be able to put points. They'll be able to eat up clock. And I think they'll have a chance to win this game. But it's all going to depend on how well they can run. With Anderson, with Gurley, it's going to be very, very interesting. Michael Thomas, great wide receiver for the Saints. One of the best, maybe one of the most underrated receivers. Doesn't get enough credit, really. This is an interesting game. I would give the quarterback position, Drew Brees, an advantage over Goff. And as long as the Rams can run the ball, I think, and they don't put pressure on Goff to have to win it, I think that the Rams have a chance in this game. But here's my thing. When I look at this game and when I make my pick for this game, I got to go with the New Orleans Saints. I got to go with New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees, Sean Payton, they don't lose at home. They don't lose at home. That's a hard place to play. And I think this is going to be a thriller. I think this is going to come down to the end. It wouldn't surprise me if the Rams did pull off an upset, but I think that because the Saints are at home, I'm going to take them. So both games for me, basically, I think the home field advantage is the key to winning it. I think a lot of times in these NFC, AFC championships, the team with home field has a big, big advantage. And with Drew Brees and Sean Payton's record in New Orleans, I'm going to go with the Saints. So I expect the Super Bowl to be the New Orleans Saints and the Kansas City Chiefs. So tell me in the comment section what you think. Now I want to talk about Nick Foles, and I want to talk about places I think he may end up and what I think the Eagles could get for him in trade value if they could get anything. I've heard a lot of videos. I've watched a lot of videos. I've heard a lot of talking on sports radio about this. And I've heard some crazy things. I've heard people say, well, Nick Foles for Jalen Ramsey and Leonard Fournette. Things like that where I don't think are realistic. I was watching E-Rock's video last night. Now, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. I'll put the link in the description. Go watch it, sub him up if you haven't. But he made a lot of good points. And what he did was explain kind of the different scenarios that the Eagles face and things that they have to think about in Foles' contract. I think Foles, February 10th. I'm not sure the exact date, but it's like February 10th or something like that. The Eagles have to decide whether to pick up his $20 million or to let it go, okay? And if they pick it up, then Foles could buy out for $2 million. And then I think by March 10th or March 13th, somewhere around there, if the Eagles haven't moved him, that $20 million is guaranteed, and the Eagles would face cap problems. So the Eagles, they have to figure out what they're going to do. Now the problem I see for the Eagles is that every team that would be interested in Nick Foles knows Nick Foles is not going to be back with the Eagles. So why are they going to go and trade you all these players and all these picks for Nick Foles when if they just wait it out, they could go get him in free agency? You see what I'm saying? So I don't know that the Eagles could get a first-round pick for Nick Foles. Now, is Nick Foles worth it? Yeah, of course he is. He's a Super Bowl MVP. He did great things this year with the Eagles. Of course he's worth it. But if those teams are lowballing the Eagles, and they're all lowballing the Eagles are kind of stuck, okay? And that's what I kind of see happening with Nick Foles. Now, I think the two top destinations for Nick, in my opinion, are Jacksonville, especially them bringing in DeFilippo. That makes Jacksonville very attractive. And the other team I'm going to say is, I think, the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos, they just hired the defensive coordinator from the Bears. God, he's slipping my mind. Why is he slipping my mind? But anyways, you bring in a defensive coordinator. A defensive coordinator is not going to get a young quarterback and groom him. He'll bring in a veteran guy like a Nick Foles. That would make a lot of sense. Like I said, Jacksonville makes a ton of sense. A ton of sense. But are these teams willing? Are they willing to give you a first-round pick? Are they willing to give you players for a guy that they know will not be on your roster come the start of the next season? So this is what Howie Roseman is going to have to maneuver and figure out and try to come up with a great, genius way to get some value for Foles. Now, last year, the Cleveland Browns reportedly offered a second-round pick for Nick Foles. They offered a second-round pick for Nick Foles. We've seen other quarterbacks go for second-round picks. If you have a team who is interested in Nick Foles, they may say, you know what, we'll do it for a second, not for a first, but we'll give you a second just so we can get him and he's on our roster. We don't have to compete with any other teams. And that may be the top market of what you could get for Nick Foles at best. And I got to tell you, if you can get Nick Foles for a second, I would do it, okay? Now, some people said, well, what about Nick Foles and Leonard Fournette? The problem with Leonard Fournette, in my opinion, one is the injury problems. Two, I don't like what I'm hearing out of Jacksonville. Shout out to UCF Jaguar. I'll put the link to his video in the description, but you can hear what a Jacksonville Jaguar fan, what they're saying about Leonard Fournette. And one of the things is they question whether he has a real desire to play. So that kind of scares me. There's other running backs coming out, and I would probably not want Leonard Fournette. Now, Jalen Ramsey, I don't think there's an opportunity to get him for Nick Foles. I just don't. If you can convince me otherwise, fine. But you would have to pay more, I think. But of course, would I be upset if they got Jalen Ramsey? Absolutely not. But a second-round pick at best should be really good. And that would give the Eagles 3 number 2s. Now, you get 3 number 2s. Then you have an option where you can take 2 of those 2s and come back into the first round if there's a guy you like, that kind of thing. And I think that when I look at Nick Foles and what the Eagles are going to get for him, sure, he is worth a first-round pick in terms of value, what he means to a team, what he can do. Because if he goes to a team like Jacksonville, goes to a team that has talent around him, he's going to take them to the playoffs. They are contenders. They're legitimate contenders to compete for a title. But I just think when teams know that you have no option but to trade a guy or get rid of him, they're going to lowball you. So to me, if we could get a number 2 at best coming out of this, I would be very happy with that. I would take it. That would give us 3 number 2s, and we would have a lot of options at that point. So I'm going to say that Foles most likely ends up in Jacksonville or Denver. Tell me what you think. Am I wrong? Am I undervaluing what the Eagles can get for him? Of course, I hope I am. But I think when teams know he's going to go, they are going to lowball the Eagles. So with that said, take care. Talk to you later. Don't be a dingbat.